Well, as far as assembling the battery door, this is pretty interesting. I took a look at my old one, and there's actually a hole in the door, in that little well, there's a hole where you put this long part of the spring through. So you put it in a hole, which you can't see in the camera, and you put that spring in like that. You get the other spring, and you put that one in like this, in the hole, long part in the hole. So the two little square parts are facing up. Then you get this main pin, put it through. All the springs in the door. This might be a little tough to get through. You might need to force this thing with something. It's a good way to poke a hole in your finger too. This pin is sharp. Okay, there, well, it poked through there. And then the other spring fell out, so we'll put that back in. So again, we put the spring in the hole here. So this long part here goes into this hole that you can't see, but there's a hole right down in there that goes straight down into the plastic. So you can see the tail of the spring is going down through the hole, and the tails are down here. So now let's continue and put the pin through. There we go. Now the pin is through the door. You want to get equal distance on either side of the pin. Because this fit in the battery container is very tight. Okay, this door should be ready to go. It matches my old door, does it? Yeah. Probably could have used that one, but hey, I have a new one, so. Plus I'm making this video on how to do it. So we'll get everything documented. So now the trick is getting the door onto this guy. From accident 1, I remember how this went. So we want to get these little springs. I think they go flat on to this part here. So let's try and align them like that. We'll try and flat them up. Do you see now how they're flatted up on there? And then as they're flatted, we're going to put these pins into the retaining receptacles and push this thing down like that. There, now. Did that work? No. Let's try, oh, it did work. So, is the door springy? Look at that. It sure is. So that's a good sign. Way to go. So now, the trick is you don't want to put force in this door to let this thing fly out on you, okay? And now the trick is you want to keep this thing together and not mess up while you put this in a new frame. You think we could do that? Let's see. So here's the new frame. And as we left off, we have everything installed, the motor wires are routed. Oh, one thing we didn't know, right? We didn't know about the polarity on the battery wire. So the battery power supply, the red wire, is always facing outward. So the red wire is facing toward the case. And if we look at the circuit board here, the red wire, I'm looking for the red and black wire on the circuit board itself. So it's opposite the circuit board, which is interesting. Anyway, we know the red wire faces out, and that's kind of how the wires are hanging around, because they've been that way for months probably. So I looked at the picture and know this wire here is outbound. It faces the outbound part of the craft, so that's how that works. So now if we're going to put the battery compartment back in, you want to make sure this wire does not get tangled up. Keep it away. This wire would be useful to be under here and not get crushed. Or can we put it around the outside? Let's take a look. So this goes toward the outbound part of the craft. This little guy goes here, and so you can place this on here without it flying apart, I hope. And we want to get these pegs aligned with these screws, right? Without the door falling off. Good luck on that. The trick is not to hold the door a whole lot. Just let it flop, I suppose. Okay, there now. We're going on. There. Wow, we did it. So the door is on. Let's look at the wires. One last look. So these wires here have to be not tangled up underneath. So without disrupting the battery pack, we want to pull this radio harness, this RC harness, out. We need this RC harness to program the firmware. So from here it will go into the frame. Let's make sure that's right. Let's get the frame here and look. So here's the frame. And let's flop it over. So, interesting enough, I have that back. Well, that's right. So there's that white spot is where the wire velcros onto. And it's on the same side as we have the wire. Do you see the wire right here? And there's the white spot, so it goes on just like that. So that's correct. That's the correct side. So then, does this wire have enough slack so we can access it with the hook and everything? And can that Velcro get on there? Yeah, I think it's okay. Might need some slack from over this way, so let's get some slack from over here. Maybe this tape I put on last time wasn't a good idea, so let's pull a little bit, get some slack from here. Oh, we just loosened the battery compartment up. Okay, here's some slack. Now, we want to get this back on here carefully, without the door falling off. Put it back on the little tangs there. There it's back on. This wire is